Hi there, I'm your local representative for the Greater Boston chapter of the Synthetic Biologists Union. We are a union founded to unite everyone in this industry, bottom to top, breakthrough to product. Synthetic biology expands the very framework of what can be done. Are you a scientist and inventor? A visionary reimagining how we will live going forward? A factory worker building the future in your own hands day after day? Or a customer, interested in how and why synthetic biology can and will benefit your life? No matter who you are, the Synthetic Biologists Union welcomes you. To envision the future of synthetic biology, we need to learn some lessons from the history of synthetic chemistry. In 1856, Henry William Perkin was trying to synthesize quinine from alanine, accidentally uncovering the first synthetic dye. This entirely changed the consumer market for fashion. Synthetic chemistry as a field wasn't only being developed for the fashion industry, but the consumer-targeted side of discovery, which had the most funding and therefore a great role in the first industrial revolution. Academic chemists and working professionals in the dye industry learned from each other, co-developing the colors and the system that we know today. These discoveries gave a vast number of people access to dye colors. The expansion of these discoveries in labs directly led to the development of the modern pharmaceutical industry. Many of these new chemicals have been associated with health risks that their manufacturers were often aware of. Workplace safety standards did not exist in the way that they do today, which often caused people to touch and breathe in these dangerous toxins. Arsenic, nitrates, sulfur, mercury, and so many others have led to severe illness, early death, autoimmune diseases, and cancer. These symptoms were found both in factory workers and product consumers, and even those living in the vicinity of factories. There is no abstaining from this pollution. This pollution continues today. The vast textile dyeing industry is still damaging the health of the people involved in and near factories. Today, synthetic biology is forming the backdrop for a fourth industrial revolution. A myriad of new developments have created the potential for incredible good, widespread awareness, and global equity. The intersection of science and profit is where the emerging industry of biodesign inherently slots into our reality. By creating the products for individual consumer market, with potentially world-altering discoveries and equipping factories to produce them at a scale to turn a profit, we are falling back into the same pattern again. It's a paradox to create another sweatshop, this time in the form of science labs. Just look at what the synthetic chemists did. But this system isn't allowing us to do what we want to do. We are at a pivotal point. It's time to pick a direction. There are barriers, we admit. Investors want to buy into real product. Selling an actual object is one of the means to fund research. How can you ask someone to buy into global change when they don't know anything about the science? Selling a pared-down product forms an on-ramp for the market. Regulations often conflict globally because synthetic biology is an emerging field. Thinking about terms of global homogeneous impact is near impossible. It's a paradox in itself for sustainability and capitalism to go hand in hand. When financial gain is the primary motivator, how can other values fight back? We cannot change everything all at once, but that should not stop us from making bold, forward-thinking decisions. We need to foster the change and go beyond the factory. Let's talk to some of our SBU workers.
Hi, so we are a union with chapters globally. There is such a vast disparity in which countries cause the most climate damage and which countries take the brunt of it. Synthetic biology opens the possibility of non-extractive material design, and the same principles need to be applied to the workforce. For an equitable future to exist, we need to think beyond the binary of manufacture and design. When the workforce of an industry and the fruits of their labors are equally globalized, awareness and care also need to look into the communities globally. It's also important to remember that the makers and buyers in this system are globally separated. Most clothing is made in countries with cheaper labor, including Vietnam and Bangladesh. This is reinforced in global power structures. This is about considering where things are made, but also whose minds we value globally and where education is. Globalizing knowledge and looking everywhere, working together to find the best people, but not poaching them to wealthier countries is the way forward. Pseudo-Freeze and Polybion are just two examples of companies located outside Europe and the US, highlighting the human resources that we gain by collaborating globally. Diverse perspectives coming from all angles of the world, rather than conglomerating at one end of the development to production pipeline, is vital.
At the Union, we are also promoting education. The offshoring of clothing production in the US has led to a lack of understanding in the general public and a devaluation of the labor required to make clothing. Our current system relies on the divide between skilled and unskilled labor, viewing people as replaceable. The scale of manufacturing in the US has a direct relationship to this. As the biodesign industry grows, it is vital we do not fall into the same pitfalls that have hurt consumers and producers' relationships with industry.
The Synthetic Biologists Union is also pushing for long-term employment. To put it in perspective, a factory worker constructing garments would most likely struggle if thrown into an executive role. However, that executive would struggle just as if thrown into a construction role. Both require training, practice, and skill. Neither is expendable. With biodesign still being in infancy as an industry, we have the opportunity to build a more equitable workforce. An apprentice-style model using mutual commitment is our chosen path forward for strong development. Caring about and cultivating the members of our industry to cultivate good for the customers or the world. The Biodesign Challenge is another method for cultivation, giving students a platform to dream about what can be. But we are calling for the larger industry to share this goal, past and outside higher education.
In the United States, we are led to believe that there are limited successful strategies to growing companies. Biodesign sits at a prime location for going beyond the joint stock company model. Other viable business models that we see succeeding are often testing alternative ownership systems. The Synthetic Biologists Union is here to support just that.
Based in China, the Hire Smart Home Company sets a great example of a successful alternative structure, using flat management and abandoning hierarchy. The vast company functions as many individual enterprises, each team accountable for its own success. Changes are made in direct response to consumers rather than higher-ups, and pay is equally directly linked to the success of the individual enterprise. This system allows for growth while prioritizing employees and consumers.
Another example of people who are actively working outside the classic investment model is the B Corp Ipicus Solar. It is a purchasing co-op that keeps many different solar companies anonymous and local, increasing their competitive advantage and using employee ownership. This helps more people participate in the clean energy movement.
Who has the agency to change the world? The Synthetic Biologists Union is working to give it to us all.